Welcome back. It's New Mutator, and I'm going to be casting Game 2 in the fourth week of Myth Kickballers, and this is the week where Renwood squared off with Thor. So, two new captains. Neither one's kind of really been tested yet. Renwood was, I think he was the captain probably of the very first champion team for the Myth World Cup back in 1998. That was played on Myth the Fallen Lords, which was kind of the game to which this game is the sequel. And so, he's kind of a diehard old crotchety veteran. Thor, on the other hand, I think he's Brazilian. I think his language of preference is Portuguese. So he did request a little bit more planning time, perhaps after this game, so that he could communicate with his team. Other than that, I mean, I don't have too much experience playing with Thor. I think the stereotype is like he's kind of a bodybuilder dude, but I honestly have no idea. I honestly have no clue. But from what I can tell, he is kind of highly regarded as kind of a strong player. So I don't really have too much experience with him as a player, but that's kind of the impression that I get from observing how other people interact with him. But other than that, I really have no clue. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave up the chat for you to read. And this is the same map, but it's a different mesh, so different unit sets. It is If I Had a Trow, which is the name of it, and flag rally as opposed to territories this time around. So it's going to be the same flag placement, but how this is going to be different is that you don't need to actually hold the flags. Instead, you can just tag them, and when you have possession of the flag, that's all you need. You can just zoom on out. You don't need to hold it for any particular length of time. Although you can hold flags to prevent the opposing team from tagging them. So that there is a little bit of strategy at play here. This is a very common map or game type, I should say, especially in competitive two-team play. And once again, there were a couple roster changes, I believe, as Milkman is going to be on Thor's team this time around. And yeah, I guess that's going to be it. Other than that, the teams are basically the same. So I'm not sure who he's replacing. I'm sure it was that
Flag
one dude with
captured.
the infinity
Flag
symbol next to him. So I can't really remember his name because I don't have any prior experience with him. But yeah, it's going to be basically just like getting 5 Trow and just stomping the opposing team, although these Trow are not really doing much
Captured.
with those. And, the way I see this is,
Captured.
Professional Killer took all 5 Trow. Like, Renwood tried to go for like a centralized strat, whereas Thor's team is going to kind of diversify its forces here and move out across the map in different areas. So they're going to have a pretty large northern flank, and then this southern flank, this pretty powerful but small southern flank to tag these flags as well. Whereas most of our force is centralized in this middle flag area, which is really not going to help us out in terms of flag rally. I think we need to spread out a little bit more and figure out a way to prevent the easy tags. Although I guess if we defended this flag pretty heavily, I guess we could stand a chance, but it's really never a good place to be where you can potentially be surrounded. That's really not a great place to be in overall. Sustaining some damage here is Professional Killer on these Trow. He is going to try to beat back these Mercuridia, but then I guess he was pushed back by the artillery. And so the thing I'm worried about is this is pretty much the only flag that Thor's team needs to win, and there's really hardly any melee on it. I mean, there's some Mercuridia up here, and there's Mercuridia like over here, but all in all, there's really not much there to protect it. And all of a sudden, we see Thor converging on the flag, and what the heck, King Diamond didn't even see that coming. Like, he could have got himself up on that hill and started focusing that Trow down a long time ago, but these Trow are going to have plenty of time to clean up these Mercuridia that are sitting defending the flag, and King Diamond could kind of try to come in and
Flag
contest, but that's going
captured.
to be it. I mean, this was a really short game. Not a whole lot happened, and I was kind of disappointed because I was looking forward to, a nail biter, but it was just lack of foresight, lack of planning, and Thor just rolling us. I don't think Renwood had a pretty I think he didn't really have a good grasp on like a nice mechanical plan. He just had like this idea of like, Juggernaut through the middle and then try to destroy their force and then tag the flags when I think he could have done better with, just a more balanced approach to the game type. But, I think he admitted to, he wasn't like in denial or anything. He pretty much knew that he was outplayed this game. So let's take a look at the players. Once again, it is going to be the people with the Trow with the damage here, as Professional Killer had about half damage for our team with 81, with the remaining damage kind of being split through with the remaining players, and even a couple players not even seeing any action at all. As we can see, most of the units were intact for the duration of the game. Not a whole lot of action. Thor did get almost half of the damage on his team, as he did have these three Trow, and who had the other two? I guess it was Q. So between them they had over half of the damage, and once again, dark maps that feature giants tend to play out that way. And overall, like I can understand the strategic implications, but I'm not the hugest fan of that style of playing. I kind of prefer the slower pace of light games with light unit sets or dark unit sets, but with no uh, hugely imbalanced, overpowering giant units that are the fastest unit in the game. But anyway, that's a minor gripe. But that's going to be it for game 2. And yeah, if you like, go ahead and join me for game 3. I'm going to be doing that in just a moment. So yeah, we'll see you in the next game.
Game over.